Welcome to this deep dive. Today we're getting into some pretty direct statements Justin Bieber made recently online.
Yeah, specifically about his experiences with paparazzi, particularly in Los Angeles.
Exactly. And he's calling for, well, for change. Our main source here is an article from Global News titled, "Justin Bieber Asks for Change After Being Bullied by Paparazzi."
So the goal today is really to unpack what he's actually saying.
All right.
Get into his perspective, the context.
Right, beyond just the headlines. Let's
Yeah.
try and understand the core message and, what's surrounding it.
Okay, so first off, he's using his own platform, Instagram, to talk about this directly, which is interesting in itself.
Yeah, no intermediaries. So the article mentions the specific statement where Bieber claims he's being bullied to leave Los Angeles by the paparazzi. That's pretty strong language.
It really is. And he follows it up with a question, something like, how can we make a change if we run away from the darkness?
So it sounds like he's saying he doesn't want to leave, despite feeling bullied. He wants to face it.
That seems to be the implication. He talks about wanting to be submerged in the culture, learning from any and everyone.
Okay. And he wants to advocate for love and equality.
Yeah, and he explicitly contrasts that with what he calls the transactional nature of Hollywood. He seems to be drawing a line there.
So this isn't just about annoyance. It's tied into a bigger view he has of the culture there.
It seems that way. And there was a specific incident highlighted, right? A video.
Right, yeah. He shared this video clip showing like a bunch of photographers just swarming him, flashing cameras right as he's walking to his car.
You can really feel the intensity in those clips sometimes.
Totally. And you actually hear Bieber in the video saying, "Look at these guys, man. Just sounds completely fed up."
And his bodyguard apparently steps in, tells him to back off.
Yeah, tells him, "You got your shot, go." Which kind of suggests this isn't a quick photo op. It's more persistent.
Definitely feels like harassment territory. The article also mentions this wasn't isolated, right? Similar stuff happened around Coachella in Palm Springs.
Yeah, so it seems like a pattern he's experiencing, not just a one-off bad day in LA.
Okay, so after this encounter, he posts again. This time it's an image, right? A lion.
Yeah, a lion. And the caption is quite spiritual. He says, "God is my lion, my strong leader, able to fight for me on my behalf."
That's really telling imagery, seeking strength, protection.
It definitely suggests he feels under attack, needing that kind of strength.
And he gets quite raw in his words after that. He talks about praying for patience.
And struggling not to, quoting him here, "rip these effing guys' heads off." It's very visceral.
Yeah, it shows the emotional toll, the anger it stirs up. It's quite vulnerable, really.
Then he seems to pivot a bit, talking about forgiveness, forgiving himself and forgiving people who seek to use and abuse me.
Because they want to capitalize off him or out of jealousy make him feel small.
But then almost in the same breath, he says, "However you slice it, I'm getting hit from all angles, and I'm no victim."
That's a really interesting turn. Acknowledging the hits, but refusing the victim label. Asserting agency, maybe?
Yeah, it's like, this is happening to me, it's wrong, but I'm not defined by it.
Right. And he links this back to his decision to be in LA. He says he moved there knowing it's F out here.
So he knew what he was getting into to some extent, but he's still asking for change.
Exactly. He asked, like, can we align with how effed it is out here and change this S? Or are we just going to let it continue?
And then he brings up Princess Diana.
Yeah. That's a huge reference to make.
He says, "People have had to die because of this princess." Diana is the first that comes to mind. Connecting paparazzi behavior directly to her death.
That really escalates the whole thing. It's not just personal annoyance anymore. He's framing it as a potentially life-threatening issue, drawing on historical tragedy.
He leads right into his plea, "We got to do better, please. Can we make a change?" It's a direct call to action based on that very serious comparison.
Definitely puts his frustration into a much heavier context.
Now, the Global News piece also adds another layer. These posts didn't happen in a vacuum. They came after his reps pushed back against a Hollywood Reporter article.
Oh, okay. So there's other media stuff happening around him, too.
Yeah, the reps were responding to what they called unnecessary stories and inaccurate assumptions in that Hollywood Reporter piece.
And what did that piece claim? The Global News article mentions it.
It touched on alleged financial issues, things like debt from the canceled tour, maybe owing millions to AEG, a big advance. Pretty serious claims about his business.
Okay, so potentially damaging stuff for his career narrative.
Right. But his team fired back pretty hard. They called the article clickbait stupidity, said it used bad sources.
And basically painted an unflattering and inaccurate portrait.
Exactly. So you see this push-pull happening. He's dealing with the street-level paparazzi stuff, and his team is managing these bigger media narratives.
It really shows the pressure cooker environment, doesn't it? Scrutiny from all sides.
And the article also touches on fan concerns about his mental health.
Ah, right. That's been a recurring theme, especially after some posts where he seemed quite vulnerable about self-worth and things like that.
Yeah, and those videos from Coachella, the ones showing him smoking near his younger brother, apparently amplified some of those worries among fans.
Okay, so how does Bieber address that perception?
Well, he acknowledges the negativity, saying people treat him like ass out here, but then he brings in his faith again, remembering he's flawed too, and God forgave him.
So that helps him not feel superior to the people being hurtful.
Kind of. He says, hurt people, hurt people. And then he adds, maybe a bit defensively, that if I was, it would be hard not to be jealous if I saw me and Haley going so brazzy.
Okay. So acknowledging hurt, but also maybe suggesting jealousy plays a role in how people react to him and his wife.
Yeah, it's a mix of self-reflection and maybe pushing back a bit on the criticism.
So if we bring it all together from this article.
Okay. It seems clear Bieber feels genuinely harassed, even bullied, by paparazzi in LA. He's not just annoyed, he's calling for real change, even invoking Princess Diana's death.
Right. That's the immediate trigger. But it's happening alongside these other pressures, managing reports about his finances, his career.
And navigating public perceptions and fan concerns about his well-being. His team is actively fighting some narratives while he's personally expressing frustration about the daily intrusions.
It paints a picture of someone under immense, multifaceted scrutiny. He's using his voice very directly about the paparazzi issue, linking it to safety and respect.
And it really makes you think, doesn't it, about fame in this digital age. What's the boundary between public interest and, well, harassment?
Yeah, where's that line? And what responsibility does the media, or even the public consuming the media, have in all this?
It's complex. Bieber's situation, as laid out here, certainly throws those questions into sharp relief. It's a lot to consider about how we treat people in the public eye.